Hey, this is Jersey. You're listening to the Garden State.
You're listening to The Garden State, the only New Jersey podcast that gives you all the news you need to hear this week. My name is Josh Sobo.
My name is Josh Chomik.
And back once more,
Jimmy Parks.
Mr. Parks.
Jimmy Donaldson.
Hey guys, before we start the podcast at all or say a single word, this week we received an email from a mom who recorded her baby saying our intro.
Stop it.
It's so crazy.
And she said we could use it if we want as a new intro. Listen to this. Wait for it.
You're listening.
The Garden State. You're listening to the Garden State. The Dirty Jers.
That's
You're
incredible.
listening to the Garden State.
The Dirty
That
Jers.
ending
Oh,
part.
wait, the Dirty Jers is kind of...
Wait, keep this on.
Dirty Jers. You're listening to the Garden State.
So adorable.
That's an amazing...
We got listeners of every single age.
We might have to throw that in there. I actually really enjoyed that.
Just replace your entire intro with that.
It's the outro would be really funny if we had the Dirty Jers.
I'll throw that in. I'll do that. I'll make that the outro this week.
Oh man, it's cool to know that not only are we impacting our listeners at home, we're also reaching the next generation.
It's absolutely incredible. Like that 1-year-old is getting her daily fill of news
Yes,
by listening to us, and she knows so much already about New Jersey.
and knowing that she's heard our podcast kind of makes me a little bit self-conscious. I want to self-censor a little bit more for the children.
Yeah, you've been a little rough. I've had to bleep you out a few times the past few weeks.
I do it for the
Yeah, I do it for the children.
Jimmy, why did you say that? Do you hear all these bleeps coming out, Jimmy? Jimmy, this is a child-friendly podcast.
All right, well.
I'm just kidding, guys. He didn't say anything.
Well, welcome back to the Garden State Podcast. We pride ourselves in giving you all the news you need to hear this week. Turn off CNN, turn off Fox, turn off MSNBC, get off of NJDotCom for real this time. You don't need that. Just tune into the Garden State Podcast.
We didn't mention last week what
We
happened.
didn't.
I know. Should we start with that?
I want whoever runs NJDotCom social media on Instagram to hit us up. I want to have a conversation.
Can we just tell the listeners what happened?
Yes.
Okay, because we weren't going to talk about
It's
this.
so...
I think this is kind of hilarious, and we should bring it up. And we didn't want, because listen, we didn't want any beef with NJ.com, mainly because, you know, we feel sort of bad for them.
Oh, yeah. We've been taken over.
We're taking over the state, and they know it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So we've just been trying to be humble about it and not cause any issues. But then they did one of the most, how do I put this? One of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen in social media history.
Honestly.
So the backstory here to all of our listeners was there was a story that we didn't cover out of Summit, New Jersey, about somebody that ran a social media page, and after getting fired from their job, they stayed logged in. The page was Downtown Summit. You know, all these downtowns have little Instagram accounts for them specifically. So he gets fired from Downtown Summit's social media, and then after being fired, he goes on a little TikTok rant, and it goes pretty viral. Then it's all over the news.
Yeah.
Right? Like Fox picked it up.
Everyone picks it up.
NJ.com picked it up. And lo and behold, NJ.com puts one of their little stories up on their feed. And instead of using a photo of the kid, for whatever reason, they used a photo of Josh.
It was
Incredible.
an actual photo of me, and then with a giant headline, it said X social media... A town social media person goes rogue or
I'll find
something
it.
like that.
I
Find
got
the
it right
title.
here. It said, fired social media manager goes rogue on New Jersey City's TikTok account.
And it's a photo of me sipping
It's-
a cup of coffee. It's actually me.
Do you want to put it on for the YouTube
Yeah,
viewers?
yeah.
Like throw it up. It's just a photo of you with a TikTok symbol.
The thing is, the kid, one of the videos he posted was like he stitched one of our diner reviews from when we went to Summit Diner.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this person on NJ.com was thinking when they were like making this post. Like, there's so many photos of this kid on the internet, but yet they posted the photo of the TikTok of me.
Yep.
To make me look like the guy who went rogue. Bro, my phone was on Do Not Disturb that day, and then I checked my phone, and I have 5 text messages from different people being like, what is this? Like, what, were you fired? What is this post?
People were saying some really mean things about you in the comments too, which I didn't think was very nice.
It was actually hilarious. Like, I just couldn't believe it was happening. I was like, what? How? How do you mess that up?
And the real issue, more than anything, is that you do social media related work in your private life. And this just made it seem like you were really up to no good.
I know. It was a really bad look for me. Can't I sue them for defamation?
Absolutely.
Dude, imagine.
We should sue them, and then we
should go to
should
court.
sue them for the domain NJ.com, and then become the NJ.com podcast.
What is it worth right now?
Well, actually, what I was going to say is, it's kind of, I've looked it up before. I think NJ.com's annual revenue is like $12 million.
It's not bad.
Which is like a quarter of what we're doing, really, in merch alone.
Merch alone.
Yeah, we've been doing about 80 mil in merch.
Crazy.
I wouldn't be a quarter, but so we really just I threatened to meme more, and I didn't want to start a meme war because really we're about peace in the Garden State.
We're a family here at the Garden State.
Yeah, and we're not trying to start any beef, but one of our we have a group of meme experts that make all of our memes.
The meme lords.
It's called the Meme Association of New Jersey. We have a group chat. And one of our guys he basically ripped that post that they put up, but instead of putting a photo of you, he put a photo of the actual girl that runs NJ.com social media, which was hilarious because I doubt they'd think we know who it is, but we figured it out.
Yeah, we did some digging.
And we were like, this meme war could get very bloody very fast.
I stopped it. I was like, guys, no.
Yeah, we wanted
can't
peace.
Do that.
But we were ready. We were ready for the gloves to come off.
Just know we're always ready.
And NJ.com, if you're listening to this, we love you guys. Even though you don't love us, we know you don't love us, but we love you guys.
Yeah, respond to our DMs. Like, stop leaving me on red.
Bro,
it's so disrespectful.
No, the worst part was you DM'd them like, could I please speak to whoever posted this? And they definitely copied and pasted a response message to us that was like, if you have a tip for NJ.com, make sure to email us a contact. It's like Instagram does not have automation in it. We've been on long enough to realize someone copied and pasted that to make it look like they didn't see your message. And like you could send them an email, which was an even lower blow. They couldn't even DM us and go, hey, sorry about that.
They're really digging a hole for themselves right now.
They didn't even apologize.
That's why I want to talk to the person face to face.
We should go outside of NJ.
Let's go to Summit Diner. Let's talk.
I have a better idea. Sorry for interrupting you.
It's okay.
Let's go outside of NJ.com's headquarters.
Okay.
And demand an apology.
Where are they located?
They're in Island.
Island, that's close enough.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's where NJ Advanced Media's headquarters is.
I had no idea they're right next door.
Yep, Island, New Jersey.
I think we got to go outside the building. That's like 10 minutes from here. We'll go down to Island.
Can we make a picket sign or something like that?
Yeah, we want a written apology from the social media manager of NJ.com.
But I was actually with somebody who worked for NJ Advanced Media today, and he said that since COVID, really nobody goes into the office. So
it sounds about right. I mean, we're in the office.
We have to find home addresses.
Hey, guys, who would win an all-out meme war?
Us.
Well, let me finish my question. 3 guys that make $0 from a massive online podcast and have no formal training in this, but we devote our time to getting good at it, or a massive media company that earns $12 million a year in revenue. Who would you put your money on?
We'll let the listeners answer that. I think it's pretty clear.
I think it's clear. But we can move on from that because we, like I said, we want peace in the Garden State.
Jimmy
Shalom.
does have ties, though. He's kind of like the middleman here.
Jimbo.
Hey, all I'm saying is who got that post taken down for you?
That is right. Jimmy did.
Jimmy did contact his people, but we did post a story and had a bunch of people bombard them. So I don't know, Jim.
I'm down to pick it outside of their headquarters. The thing would be only if we know they're going into office. Jimmy, if you get the intel for us, we will absolutely pick it.
Okay.
Jim, can you set up a meeting or something with it?
Yeah, probably.
Say we want to go to Summit Diner. We want to talk to the head of social media and make this happen.
Okay.
Or he's on it. He's already typing away. I see him.
They're at 485 US Route 1, Woodbridge Township, New Jersey.
They're on Route 1?
Yep.
Dude, I just learned about this today. That's crazy.
They're right. So, you know when you go to Menlo Mall, you go
I know where they're at. I've seen the
right
building
to the
before.
left.
Good to know.
It's a small building.
It's small enough to...
Small but mighty.
To make a meme out of.
Well, it's...
NJ.com's building versus the Garden State's building.
It's actually a decent sized building.
Oh, shoot. They got a better building than us?
Well, we do have NJ 101.5 on our side, though. They might back us.
That's because NJ 101.5 is full of the rowdy boys. You go on their
They're
website.
Great.
You go on NJ 101.5, there are no rules to the way they do journalism. It's like they just write like...
It's how it should be.
It's like a constant... stream. I don't know what I'm saying. It's like a very
stream of conscious.
Yeah, it's a stream of consciousness. So
Just wait until we start our write-ups on our website.
yeah, I'm excited. Boys, before we get into the news or even the mailbag, what'd you guys do this weekend, by the way?
I was in North Carolina golfing while you guys were freezing out here.
So what is this, your fourth weekend in a row not being in New Jersey?
Something like that. Almost done with the little trip around the sun. One more weekend.
It must be nice.
Guys, wasn't it like 10 degrees here on Saturday?
I think with wind chill, it was in the negatives.
I was golfing on Saturday in the sun in North Carolina.
What was the temperature down there, though?
It was cold, but like it was like 45 at peak of day. So I was like warm. I felt great. And I just saw like photos back here of it being like terrible.
It was the coldest, I think, of the year.
Yeah, I didn't go outside on Saturday.
I want to look what I did this weekend. The best way to tell is I look at my photos and see. I did a whole lot of nothing, it looks like.
Jimmy, what do you do?
I didn't do all that much this weekend either. I actually just went to dinner with Amanda, and I was telling you guys earlier, it was crazy. All of a sudden, like, all these police and like ambulance lights are outside the place we were eating at, and I was like, oh, I wonder what's going on out there. And then next thing you know, the police officer walks inside, walks right past us, and the girl at the table next to us was like passed out, and we had no idea.
So what did they do? They take her
They
out?
took her out in a stretcher.
Wasn't she just like drunk?
That's what we assume. The bartender was like, yeah, he does this. This girl does this a lot.
That's really sad.
So,
You should have stepped in, Jim. Save the day.
Yeah,
but what was even like crazier, it was a whole table of girls, and like half the table could like care less that their one friend was being taken away in a stretcher. It was really bizarre.
strange.
Should have done like a live reporting, Jim, for the Garden State.
So North
Bad
Carolina
taste.
was just as cold as New Jersey?
No, bro, it was 45 degrees and sunny.
Oh,
It was
I
so
missed that
nice.
part.
Yeah, that's why I escaped. I picked the perfect timing. I was hoping it'd be 60, but hey, I'll take 45 and sunny over 10 degrees any day with no snow.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, an update for everyone listening who's not aware, we haven't gotten snow yet, so it's a problem.
We're not getting it this winter. I told you guys this.
The groundhog said we will.
We got a little snow last week.
Yeah,
Nothing like
a little dust.
substantial, but
No, it's
it
not
was
accumulating.
something.
We're not getting a bombo though this year.
No bomb cyclone.
You guys just wait, right?
Bombo Genesis coming in March.
Do you guys know your history? You know those March like blizzards we have had in the past?
It's not happened this year. I met with the guy from the National Weather Service. He said above average temperatures here on out.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping if we do get snow, it doesn't come on March 10th. That's my only hope. Otherwise, I'm fine with some snow.
It'd be a little blizzard miracle.
After the baby comes, sure, that's fine. But if the baby's on her way, I don't want to be driving through no snow, especially in my Nissan Rogue, which is
It's not rated.
it's not all-wheel drive.
How about your pickup? Just go through the pickup.
Yeah, but how are we gonna get the baby home?
Oh, it's gonna be like a crazy movie, like back in the day. Like Shelby's gonna be holding the baby in the front seat. You guys are gonna be swerving through the
Oh
snow,
my
the
God.
icy
Oh my
roads. It's gonna be a miracle baby, basically.
Well, I hope we don't get snow on the day my baby comes. But hey, guys, do you want to get in the mailbag?
Yeah,
We actually, do you want to do 2 mailbags this week, or should we just do the one?
we have so many. Let's do 2.
So the first one, we asked the question last week. We said, give me some advice on parenting, and we got a phone call from someone not even from New Jersey. Do you guys want to hear what she had to say?
Let's go.
Hey, you've reached the Garden State Podcast. Sorry we can't come to the phone right now. We're currently plotting memes for the downfall of NJ.com. Leave us a message. Have a good night.
Hi, this is Rachel from Pennsylvania. I watched you guys on YouTube back in the day, and I heard about your podcast, and I love it. So it's kind of funny because I am more invested in New Jersey news than I am about any news in my own state. But I am a mom of 2. I have a 2.5-year-old and a 6-month-old who you might be hearing right now.
Best.
And so I don't know that I'm a wise sage by any means, but I have a little bit of advice that might be helpful, might not, but here we go. So Josh, one thing I would encourage you as you and your wife get closer and closer to meeting your little girl, I would just encourage you to encourage your wife in her abilities as a woman to give birth to this child. God has endowed us with some superpowers as women to give birth, but I think it's so easy to look at this experience and become afraid because of how big and overwhelming it is. So I would just encourage you to encourage her that she can do this, that she's made for this,
It's good.
and that she's going to do an awesome job. Another thing I would encourage you guys to do, and this is something that a lot of people told us, my husband and I, is to have a lot of grace for each other when in the early stages, because it's a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of things. You're done physically, mentally, emotionally, especially your wife. And it's through these times that you feel overwhelmed, but that's when you need each other the most. So lots of grace. Thanks, guys, so much for doing this podcast. It is the highlight of my week. And I hope you have an awesome rest of your week. Bye.
What a nice
Okay,
voice message.
you just got a lot thrown at you.
That was great.
Like, are you-
I'm not gonna lie. Usually I listen to these point blank on the pod. I heard this one earlier. Actually, sometimes I skim them just to get the gist, because we get a fair bit of them. I sent this to my wife, made her cry.
She cried?
Yeah, she's nearing serious, giving birth. She's 4 weeks out, and this definitely did it for her. What really kind message from this listener. Thank you, Rachel.
You got to take
I
some
will
notes.
Definitely take some notes on that. Yeah.
That was really nice.
Do you have any notes for me as well, Josh?
Well, I told you my notes. Don't drop the baby.
Yeah.
Love the baby. Let me babysit the baby.
Wait a second. You said
And-
don't drop the baby?
Yeah, don't drop the baby.
I did not think of that. Thank you.
Well, yeah, you're welcome.
That's a great idea.
I'm shocked no one told you that.
All right. Well, thank you, Rachel, for that very kind message. Keep listening from Pennsylvania, and maybe if you could move to New Jersey.
Sure.
Now, if you live in PA, you've already made it out. You're good. Don't come to Jersey. Way cheaper living, right?
Yeah, I think taxes are way down.
Nice. All right, let's do one more mailbag before we get on with the pod. This one is from Michael, a resident of Kinnelon. Let's see what he's got to say.
Hey guys, this is Michael Harrison, resident of Kinnelon, New Jersey. Born and raised, just bought a house in Stanhope, moving out there, and I have a studio in Dover, so it's always around Hibernia area you guys are talking about. But I was listening to the podcast and wrote down some notes from last week. I wanted to just let you know. So the apartments thing is crazy. I drive through Bud Lake sometimes, when I was looking at houses, and they have giant apartment buildings going up in the middle of nowhere. It is so dumb. And on the side of 80, there's places no one would ever want to live. I mean, not that no one lives on the Bud Lake, but like not in the apartments down in the middle of nowhere versus their nice neighborhoods, or on the side of 80, just because it's next to Mount Arlington, like the train station. The sprawl is terrible. And also with the battery fire thing. Nuvon is a company down in South Jersey. Well, they're a global company. The scientist that made the technology is in South Jersey. He's making proprietary batteries that quite possibly could change the industry. They're like solid-state, non-liquid batteries, and he's sizing them up for like Teslas and everything. It's crazy. I'm doing a lot of work for them. But that's, a guy named Manveer Sidhu from Nuvon in South Jersey down by Trenton, and that's like some really cool New Jersey business thing happening. Also, I have a studio in Dover. If you guys ever want a place to shoot, it is a great place to shoot at night. Has some nice vibes, and would love to talk about that. Okay, thanks for your podcast. Appreciate something to listen to. You guys are awesome. Have a good one.
Sick. Shout out to Michael Harrison. And he brings up a great point there. I know that area very well. I have family in the Rockaway area, and I got married in Bud Lake.
Oh, you did?
Well, technically,
I thought I recognized that
the
name.
hotel was the hotel for the wedding was in Bud Lake, but I got married at Waterloo Village, which is in
Stanhope.
Stanhope, yeah. So I know that area somewhat well, and it is funny. He makes a good point. They are putting up apartments everywhere out there, and we got a lot of pushback, a lot of support, and a lot of pushback on the apartment conversation we had a few weeks ago, where I went on a rant.
I think you got a lot of support though. It blew up on it. It blew up on TikTok.
There were a lot of like finance nerds coming after me in the comments, like, well, if you want housing costs to come down in New Jersey, then we need more apartments. And it's like, yeah, that only makes sense if you're talking about apartments. We need more houses if you want housing costs to come down.
Yeah, I saw you going back and forth.
I
with
was
some people in the
arguing with a ton of
comments.
people. Like these guys are saying, well, this is the way to make housing cheaper. How is luxury apartments that are $3,200 a month for a one-bedroom apartment making anything cheaper?
Yeah.
That sounds
No.
like it's not the solution at all. His point was the supply will bring down the cost, but I don't see that happen. I think that's ridiculous. And then the other point he made that I thought was just unbelievably laughable. This was a different guy. I argued with two people. Was if more people move into these towns, your taxes are going to go down. And I said, you may be the most, I didn't say this. I said, that sounds a bit idealistic.
That's what they said when the Clark Commons came in. Clark, they're like, oh, it's going to lower all your taxes because this place is going to.
And have they gone down for your parents?
No, they went up.
Exactly. So it's like
We just got reassessed this year.
So here's the thing: is if you look at the taxes in the state of property taxes in the state of New Jersey over the course of the last 30 years, or do the last 100 years, I'm sure it's an upward arrow. That's if you look at it like a line chart, it's going up and it's probably never gone down, right? And just now we've reached the point. Like zoom out 100 years and circle today. Hey, we finally reached the point, guys. These apartments are going to finally bring the taxes down. That's the most naive perspective that's ever existed. It fails to take into account the incompetence of local government in New Jersey and the sheer corruption that runs this entire state. My dude.
Should I make that into another rant? As like a bounce back.
If you're going to make it a rant, I have a few things I'd like to say.
Oh.
On top of that.
Yeah.
I guess I said most of it there, but the other thing that I was saying before was, if you want the cost of a house to come down, we need people to build more houses. It's plain and simple. Plain and simple. There's no way building luxury apartments is going to bring down the cost of a house. You could make an argument because there's more supply, but it doesn't work in reality in this state because this state is an enigma. It's overpopulated. There's too many people, and I think that. What really irks me is the idea that your taxes are going to go down. No, what's actually going to happen in towns like Cranford, where they're situated along the Rahway River, that it's a flood zone, right? Yep. You're in a flood zone where we already cannot get the water off of the street fast enough into the Rahway River. What's going to happen is these companies like American Water, which I just read about this week, are going to have to come in and rework the sewage system to somehow make a way for us to drain water faster. And that was actually in the news this week. American Water is doing like $8 million worth of work.
Yeah, something like that.
Let me see. American Water, Union County. I'll pull it up. I didn't have it prepped. And this is for
$7.9 million in Union County infrastructure.
Okay, so here's your taxes going down, everybody. We have more people moving in, more blacktop that's going to collect water instead of grass, more drainage pipes that are going in, right? And what's going to happen is American Water is going to charge the Union County $8 million. And what's this going to do? It's going to replace over 3 miles of aging water main in Cranford. So I guess this is not for draining. It's a water main, but the point stands true. You're going to have these massive contracts with big companies coming into your town, rerouting all of your systems. Oh, the other thing is we have a teacher shortage. So we're going to magically find more teachers. And I said to the one guy in the comment, are you going to cut teachers or other state employee pensions to bring our taxes down? No, nobody's going to do that. Not that they even should, right? Like if you have a pension, you should just get to keep it.
Yep.
So you know what's going to happen is everybody's taxes are going to go up and you're not going to be able to drive through your town because luxury apartments everywhere. This guy said, he was like, oh.
He's so fired up.
The other guy, this guy was like, oh, the other thing is, people having apartments in downtown areas will mean they won't need cars. They'll just walk to work. Who in New Jersey is not going to have a car?
Yeah,
we don't live in Brooklyn. This isn't Bushwick.
That's what they want to make it, dude.
Like
that's what Murphy's trying to do over in Metro Park.
Yeah, like this is not New York City. You don't live in Brooklyn. You don't live in Jersey City.
It's their goal.
You don't live in Hoboken. Even in Hoboken, a lot of people have cars. I have a friend. I have a close friend that lives in Hoboken. Him and his wife have a car. You know why? Because they want to go see their family and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this idea that you're not going to live in Manhattan, you're going to sacrifice to live out in New Jersey and miss out on the benefit of the main benefit, which is mobility, having a car, being able to drive places you want to go. No shot. It's idealistic. Never going to happen. I don't know if that's a rant for TikTok, but I was so fired up by the response we got because it was just so. I mean, there was good response for sure. But the pseudo intellectuals in the comment that have no context of the surrounding area we live in can't stand them. All right, let's move on.
You guys should see how Josh responds to people when he's angry like that. He switches over to his personal account, so he doesn't represent the Garden State.
No,
so.
I do it from the Garden State.
Better watch out.
I like that umbrella of protection. But thank you, Michael Harrison. You're right.
What do you say about Teslas?
So he was also making the point that down in South Jersey, there's somebody that's working on. I believe the term he used was a solid state battery.
Yep, solid state battery.
And it's going to help, I guess, with the fires that we talked about 2 weeks ago with that fire chief. Remind me his name, Jimbo?
Chad Bazowski.
Chief Chad Bazowski gave us the rundown on how EVs are going to have issues where they light on fire on the side of the highway and you can't put them out. So this would be a solution I'm guessing that they're working towards. There's a scientist in South Jersey. Love to see it. New Jersey has the richest history of awesome scientists. Shout out to Tesla himself.
Would love to stop by the studio, Michael, sometime. Like he opened up his studio to us.
Yeah.
We got to go say hi.
We will have to connect with him. All right. You guys ready to get this show on the road?
Yeah. Before we get into the news, let's do that live. We got a live mailbag in person for us right here on the pod. We got Danny Dimes in the house.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, Danny wanted to call in. I was like, no, just come onto the pod tonight. Danny, get over here really quickly. Danny had something to share.
Oh, Danny.
He was going to call in, but I was like, nah, he's in the house. Danny, get over here. What's up, Danny?
What's up?
All right, so what did you want to talk about?
New Jersey Transit is the absolute worst.
Yes.
This guy takes the bus every single morning. Tell us what happened, Danny.
Well, I take either the bus or the train, and NJ Transit is just so inconsistent with their schedules. You'll have people that are lining up 30 people at a time waiting for a bus just for 2 buses to show up at the same time. Normally, buses run every 15 minutes or so, and you'd expect around 7:30, 7:40. You know, the bus, I live in Cranford, will take an hour to get to the city, so that means you're going to get to the city at 8:40. You'll take 20 minutes to get to your office. That's 9 o'clock, right? That's rush hour. You'd expect there to be more frequent buses, but no. From 7:20, the next one is 7:44, or then after that, then it's 7:50. It's like, why is it so inconsistent? Same thing with the trains. It's just horrible. Garbage. They need to fix their crap. I know that people probably do studies and they're like, oh, we want to see the amount of people that are on this. It's all BS. They probably have a lack of workers. I'm tired of it.
Wow. Well, here's what I have to say to Danny. Danny, have you considered the fact that we're building massive apartment buildings that are going to lower your taxes and make your commute all that much easier because there'll be more people on the bus bringing down the cost of fares? That's how people would comment on our video.
Wait a minute. Now that you mention it.
It's basic economics, brother.
Anyway, sorry.
Well, thank you for the rant. I used to commute on your same bus.
Same here. 113X.
113X season, baby, and I don't miss it at all.
Danny, thank you so much for coming onto the pod and sharing that. You know, this is a free place to rant. Just get everything off your chest. Anything that's bugging you in Jersey, call into the mailbag.
Yes, yes.
And Josh, how can they call in?
You guys can call into the mailbag through...
I was waiting for you.
You can call 908 67 99 99 3. Call today.
Call today.
One last thing before we get into the news. We just want to remind you guys we will be at the Polar Plunge in Seaside Heights on February
25th.
You can go in the description of this podcast or on any of our social media pages. We have the link. You can go make a donation. All proceeds go to the Special Olympics. And if you want to plunge with us, you want to dive into the good old Atlantic Ocean on February 25th, a Saturday, you can make a donation. I think you have to donate, what, $110, something like that?
The price went up after February 1st, so it might be like $120 or something like that now. But
it's going to be a good time all around, and we'll have stickers for anybody that comes to dive with us.
Maybe a little merch giveaway.
Cool.
We'll see what we got in the bag.
And speaking of merch, we want to let you know we released these beautiful new hoodies that we're currently wearing. It's our university hoodie in a crimson blue with a green typeface.
So comfortable.
A new colorway, and it is very cozy. You can get that on theGardenState.com. That is the number one way to support the podcast, our merch.
Buy some merch.
And with that, it's time to get into the news, boys. The news. Here we go. You guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
Ready.
A New Jersey man paid $20,000 in Bitcoin in a failed attempt to have a 14-year-old murdered.
Why was he trying to kill a 14-year-old?
Because he is a pedophile.
Wow.
True story. A New Jersey man who admitted to paying a hitman $20,000 in cryptocurrency to have a 14-year-old child murdered may face up to 10 years behind bars. How is it up to 10 years behind bars? Shouldn't that be like...
Life?
Yeah, like...
I guess because he was unsuccessful in his attempt to murder.
But still, it was attempted murder.
Still pretty bad. So this guy's name is John Michael Musbach. He's 31. He pleaded guilty to an indictment charging him with one count of knowingly and intentionally using and causing another to use a facility of interstate and foreign commerce, that is the internet, with the intent that a murder be committed. That is a lot of words.
Ooh.
The Department of Justice said Thursday. The Haddonfield man is accused of exchanging sexually explicit photographs and videos with the then 13-year-old victim during the summer of 2015. The victim lived in New York at the time. After the victim's parents learned of the inappropriate content, they notified law enforcement, who identified Musback. In the case, listen, so prosecutors allege that Musback decided to have the victim killed so that the victim could not testify against him in the pending criminal case. This guy is a sick person, and this is where life in prison and a few other options that I'm not going to say in the podcast should be available.
That's insane, dude. He's trying to wipe the kid off the map.
Josh.
What? That's insane. What? What's everyone laughing about? He was trying to get rid of the kid so he wouldn't testify.
You cannot say he's trying to wipe the kid off the map.
Well, that was my first reaction. That's insane. Honestly, I'm shocked.
So Musback repeatedly contacted the administrator of a murder for hire website on the dark web. Does anything good happen on the dark web?
No.
I don't think so. Which purported to offer contact killings or other acts of violence in exchange for cryptocurrency from May 7, 2016 to May 20, 2016. So this guy is an absolute scoundrel, and they should place him in prison for as long as possible. And hopefully this young person that he was taking advantage of seeks the proper help and gets it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And he paid 40 Bitcoin.
Wait a second.
Which was worth 20 grand at the time.
Oh my gosh.
Think about that.
What's one Bitcoin worth right now, Danny? 23,000, something like that?
It is 23,340.
All right, so let's just round up to 25 because it'll be there soon, probably. $25,000 times 40 is what? Someone do that quick math. $800,000, something like that.
Wait, what was it?
25,000 times 40.
Yeah,
It's a million?
It's a million.
Oh my gosh.
Dang, dude, Bitcoin
This guy
was low.
blew $1 million to have a 14-year-old murdered. A 13-year-old murdered. What a clown.
I wonder how far he got into the process of getting a hitman and then completely failed, or like the cops catching him.
Not
Because it doesn't
far
share
enough.
anything in the article.
No, it doesn't. The article doesn't say, but I just don't even understand. I have no thoughts on this.
Maybe I'm just naive, but I don't even think I would know the first place to start looking for a hitman and like going through like that whole process.
The dark web.
Yeah, but how do you even get to the dark web?
That's a great question I've wondered many times. I feel like Danny would know. Danny, how do you get to the dark web?
He's laughing over there on the couch.
You have to get like an IP address, like one of those IP. You want to say into that mic for us? Explain how you get to the dark.
I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure a lot of those guys use things like Tor, which is like the onion router, which basically masks your. I don't know. It's kind of.
Whoa,
I'm no expert, but here's literally how to do it.
It's layers of IP concealing.
So is the dark web like Google, but different? Is it like a search browser or what? Or is it like a social network?
No, it's just like I guess you can consider it Google. It's basically most of the internet, just not mainstream.
Is the dark web anything like Silk Road? What was Silk Road?
Silk Road was through the dark web.
Okay, so do you guys know what Silk Road was?
Made some purchases back in the day.
Silk Road was
Just
it was actually a website where this guy basically made like an e-commerce site, I guess, where you could buy and sell drugs, like hardcore drugs and weapons and stuff. And he got arrested and got like 3 lifetimes in prison.
Oh, wow.
He's like a 26-year-old kid from UC Berkeley, I think. Like just some nerd that figured out how to make a crazy website, and they tracked him down in like a coffee shop or a library.
Dude, like I remember when I was like younger in high school, dude, kids used to like buy like drugs with Bitcoin when it was like worth nothing. Yeah, because it was worth nothing. People are like, oh, Bitcoin, that's never going to be a thing. And it was crazy. Like people were just exchanging Bitcoin like left and right because it was worth nothing.
Kids in your school were so crafty.
Dude, it was amazing. I wish I knew about Bitcoin back then. I would have done some research. Can you type in 2008 Bitcoin worth?
Bitcoin was around 2008, 2010. Bitcoin price was $0. So
It was like it was not even like $1.
Wow.
Yeah. So think about that.
40 cents, something like that.
So imagine having like 20 Bitcoin back then and just like saving it.
it blows my mind now that I'm an adult, and you meet like a junior in high school. They're like kids.
Little babies.
Yeah.
And you think that those kids, when we were in high school, were doing this crazy stuff. It just blows my mind.
Well, that's why kids are crazy, bro. Kids are mysterious. You can never read a kid anymore, especially with all the power of the internet. You never
Yeah.
know what a kid's up to.
So what do you guys think happens to this Mr. Musback? Do you think he's going to get 10
Apparently
years?
only 10 years, which is kind of ridiculous for trying to murder a kid.
And he'll probably get out early on good behavior and all that stuff. So
I want to know where the kid is right now. He must be terrified knowing that this guy's going to be back out there in 10 years. He's going to kill him again.
Well,
he's going to try to. 2015
to 2023, it's 8 years. This kid is now probably 21 years old. So
yeah, he'll be only 31 when the guy gets out of prison, which is kind of terrifying.
It is a little scary.
Like, I wouldn't, if that happened to me, I wouldn't want to know that the guy trying to murder me is coming back out, who is a sexual predator.
Yep.
That's just insane to me. I can't believe that.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like a registry is not enough. She could have face tattoo.
No, especially because there's you're not being protected 24/7.
If the state of New Jersey said, if you are a child predator, we're tattooing child predator on your forehead, like if we arrest you,
Like a big stamp.
and we prove it, I think that'd be the greatest deterrent
I agree.
to child predators. We should make it so shameful.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think, though, is there ever a second chance for those people?
With child predators,
No.
I lean on the side of not really. No, I mean, like if you do your time, that's justice, I guess. But also, that's why we have a registry because, I mean,
But yeah, it's so tricky.
I'm not saying you can't get out of prison. You do your time. You do your time. That's fine. But the idea, what do you mean by I guess you have to narrow that down.
Well,
What does that mean? A second
no, because
chance?
you were saying like, what if they had like a thing tatted on them that said like child predator? It's like maybe we do give this guy a second chance one day, or maybe not. Maybe we don't. Maybe he's done for.
No, I don't. I'm not saying he's done for, but I think it's such a heinous crime that, like, up to 10 years, kids are the most vulnerable people in our population. We should be looking out. It's like
I completely
them
agree.
and the elderly.
Yeah.
And if we don't take it seriously enough to shame that sort of act, like there's this country. I'm not saying we should do this, but I read this the other day. Some country in Africa, when they catch people stealing, they cut their fingers off. You know why? Yeah. For the rest of your life, everywhere you go, people know you stole, and as a result, people don't want to steal. They go, I don't want to lose my fingers. I don't want to be ostracized. Now, I'm not saying that's a good method.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not saying it's a good method.
It works.
But it probably works pretty well.
Yeah.
It's probably very effective at,
like, if I stole and lost a finger, bro, you know I'm not stealing again because I want the rest of my fingers.
You know, like imagine being a little kid and you see somebody in public with no fingers. You'd be like, and your mom says that's what happens when you steal. You would never. Every kid would be traumatized.
Bro, for real.
But like, I'm not saying we should do that. I just think
I knew a guy with who was missing a finger. My little cousin was terrified of him. Like growing up, he used to cry when around him because he knew the guy didn't have a finger.
No shot.
Yeah, it was Aaron. Aaron knew the guy.
Ask Aaron about it.
He would just be like, he wouldn't want to go near the guy because he was missing a finger.
My grandfather was missing like 3 fingers halfway down.
Oh, whoa!
Table saw accident.
My grandpa,
really?
My grandpa from a table saw was missing half his thumb.
Dude, that generation of men built different.
Unreal.
I just always thought it was so cool because I mean, I felt bad for him, but he'd come over, on holidays and stuff, and he was just like. Just missing a few of his digits, and I was just like, so I thought it was so cool.
Well,
like,
how did he do it?
Grandpa.
Did he used to like show you, be like, "Hey, Josh, like this"?
No, he didn't really draw attention to it. I think I was too nervous to ask him about it, but I should have because he probably would have had a good story. And I like woodworking too. I probably inherited that gene from him. And there's a part of me that wonders, is it in my blood now to potentially cut my fingers off?
Absolutely not.
No.
You don't think so? You don't think I could have that same, like not like it's gonna happen, but like could I, if someone from the same, okay, so it's my mom's dad, so I don't know how much you inherit from your mom's dad. Danny would be a chemist.
I think I got a lot from my mom's dad.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did too.
Yeah, so
you are a lot like.
You might want to watch out for your fingers at this point.
Well, Josh, I'm gonna get you one of those table saws that like snaps down if you get too close to it.
It's called a saw stop, I think, or
I don't know what it's called, but it's pretty cool.
We had one in high school.
You barely touch it, and it. Whoom.
Cranford High School had one in
it's fun to experiment, test those out.
Well, no,
hot dogs.
A kid in my class actually used it by accident.
Really?
And my teacher was very angry because the way that works is there's a cartridge under the blade that explodes. It's a tiny explosive that shoots into the blade, and it's like $110 to buy a new one. And the district was like, "Hey, man, the saw was $30,000. We're not going to be buying you new cartridges. So I think the teacher, like, something happened. He may have had to buy it out of his own pocket because he just loved woodworking so much. But
like,
it was.
Would you rather the kid's finger get cut off?
Yeah, but the kid was being an idiot. Like, the thing is,
the kid was trying to get his finger cut off, pretty much.
The only way to cut your fingers off with a saw is to be rushing, to be careless. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and I'm sure my grandfather would have said that if I asked him. He probably would have been like, I was in a rush and zip. So unless something was broken, but yeah. So the Bitcoin, man, I'm not. Just so I'm very clear before the haters come at me in the comments, I'm not saying we should tattoo this guy's forehead, although I think 10 years in prison, up to 10 years is thin. A cool 25 would do him some good, I think.
I think 25 is fair.
All right. So you guys heard what happened at Newark Airport this week? Because it has been a week for airports.
I thought this was Chumuk's flight.
It happened on the day I was flying.
Yeah, you were flying from Newark, right?
I literally was in the terminal, and Jimmy was like, "Is this you?" I was like, "No, I hope not."
In Newark, New Jersey, a United aircraft rammed into a parked plane this past week.
Something's been going on, bro. There's been like all these plane incidents the past few weeks. Like, come on, how has that happened?
Yeah, it says no injuries were reported when a Boeing 787 clipped the wing of an Orlando-bound United Airlines flight at Newark Liberty International Airport. The Boeing was being tugged to a different location when it clipped the left wing of the United flight when it was parked at its gate. A few passengers posted pictures of the incident on Twitter, including Jersey City resident Tom Zupa. Zupa tells News 12 that the passengers deplaned normally and were booked on a different flight to Florida. Here's a quote from him. He said, "Everyone had to have felt the thud and the collision. It was like a fender bender feeling." The flight crew was fantastic, so I have to say United really handled the situation well. They compensated the passengers, so there's really nothing bad to say about the flight crew.
Must be nice.
Or the airline. Wow, I want to hang out with Tom. Because that's the nicest remark of anybody at an airport ever.
Bro, they compensated the guy. They paid him. Yeah, how could he not be happy?
It's crazy to me, though, because if with any slight inconvenience at an airport, everybody gets mad. And this guy had a pretty good reason to be mad. His plane got hit by another plane. And he's like, they did their job and they took care of us and I'm good.
I wonder, seriously, how this happened, though. Because, the plane's being tugged, it's being pulled, but at the same time, you see a plane that close to you. Like, these pilots have to know, like, the distance. Like, this never happens. Like, was there just, like, a blind spot? Like, I don't know how that works with planes. But, thank God no one was hurt. And thank God it was just, like, when they were being pulled, so it wasn't anything crazy.
I'm trying to find on Twitter right now, EWR plane collision.
Type in like wing.
Oh, here we go.
That's 2019.
I guess this has happened before.
No, that's Southwest. We don't want to talk about Southwest.
All right, well, we'll move on.
It's not a valid airline.
Airplane travel is so much safer than being in a car, but stories like this give it such a bad rep.
Well, you got to report on it because it rarely ever happens. So
exactly.
Look, it's a big story because it never happens. And like, I want to see what the other plane looked like. It probably was a little scrape.
But you know what? This is like equivalent to being in the Target parking lot and opening your door and hitting the car next to you. It happens all the time.
Well, so is it with planes? Because they're so big.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Like nobody talks about it because it happens all the time with cars, but planes, it never happens. So every time something like this happens, everyone freaks out.
I would have volunteered to be on that flight. Like, imagine, like, you knew, like, the future would be like, yeah, you have to be on this flight, but you're going to be super delayed. You have to get on another flight, but you just have to, like, go through this quick little accident. You'll get compensated. I would have reported immediately on it.
You know what I would have said? My back!
And then you really get paid.
Then I really get. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. But can you imagine? There's definitely someone on that plane right now that got off that plane, and it was like, my back is killing me. I think I'd be that guy. I'd immediately
like fully bent over.
I'd be like, oh, my leg. I can't stand up. I'm just kidding. That would be messed up. But thank goodness, let's look at the bright side. Nobody was injured, right? They got compensated. They got on another flight, and United Air made this right. They made the situation right and took care of their passengers. And this is a great time for our sponsorship, United Airlines. No, I'm just kidding. Imagine.
I just want to say really quickly for the podcast, I forgot to say it earlier about my weekend recap. I filmed, I fly United this past weekend out of Terminal A, like I said last week.
Yep.
And you know how like we kind of just like ripped apart Terminal A in those stories? Guys.
It's nice.
It's so nice. It's a beautiful terminal. It really represents Jersey well. Like there's Jersey photos everywhere.
Awesome.
Doesn't Jimmy Parks have a photo in that?
He told me to check it when it was too late.
So I had to give some photos to them
Okay.
for the airport. I don't know if they use them or not.
So we have to go back.
So
I'll be back on Friday actually to Terminal A.
Oh, really? No way.
So you have to tell me
So
where
I
to look.
really think that it's right before you go through security. I was looking at all pictures online, and they have a big like rotating board up there.
Okay.
I think if it's anywhere, it's probably going to be in that.
I'll film it.
So Terminal A was worth flying out of.
Wow, I wish every United flight was out of there, bro. Like it was such a relaxing, it just was so refreshing to walk around. The high ceilings, it was super bright. It didn't feel like Newark. It felt like a brand new airport, which it technically is because it's a new building. And then when I flew back and landed there, I got off my plane, walked to baggage claim. My bag was there immediately.
Really?
No wait. So they definitely fixed their whole baggage claim issue with this new terminal. It's absolutely fantastic. And it's completely separated from the rest of the airport. So it technically is like its own airport. Guys, oh my gosh, if you fly JetBlue, American, the smaller United flights, you'll go out of Terminal A. But oh my, they have to do something about the rest of the airport. Like they're not going to, but like this was awesome. Like I kind of want to fly American now, just like use Terminal A.
I think that's a really good review. We got to be more positive on this podcast.
Honestly, I felt embarrassed the way I spoke about Terminal A in the past. This was such a great experience. And guys, well, I got the first thing I saw when I walked in, the security line was super long. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
But check this. I'm walking to the pre-TSA area because I have pre-check.
Yep.
And they opened up a brand new gate. I was walking up. I was the first person through. No one at the line.
Amazing.
And I saw all these other people in the long line. I just walked right past, like my head held high, like pretending like I was somebody. And they're like, "How did this guy get through right away?" And I was just like smiling. I was like, "Yeah." So yeah, it was a great experience. Great day at Newark. I'll definitely be back. So yeah, thank you United for sponsoring this podcast.
Great. And while you were on this trip, did you go swimming at all?
Swimming.
Yeah.
Josh, I wish, but it was still a little too cold.
Oh, well, if you had, you should have made sure that you had the right swimming cap on, or you could have been disqualified from a race.
Oh, no way. Did this happen, Josh?
Yes, this happened in Morristown this past week.
Tell me more.
There's an article that says a New Jersey high school swimmer was disqualified from a race over the size of the American flag on his swim cap.
What?
Okay, tell me more.
Yeah, so basically, this student was getting ready, or actually won a swimming race, and I don't think it's as much about the American flag as it was the fact that the emblem was too large on his swim cap. So this kid wins a race, and the opposing coach comes over after the race and has the officials measure the emblem on the swim cap, and as a result, the kid is disqualified and loses the race.
So is this
crazy.
clickbait? Because it could it have been any emblem that was too big?
Yeah, I think it
or
is.
Are they just using the American flag as clickbait?
I think the American flag portion is clickbait because I don't think it was an issue of the flag.
Because that's the first thing you think about when you read the article, right?
No, I don't think it had anything to do with the American flag. So here's what it says. A high school swimmer was disqualified from a race after the American flag patch he donned on his cap was ruled to be too large, according to the swimmer's father. Rob Miller said that his son, a 16-year-old sophomore at Morristown High School in New Jersey, had worn the patch in honor of his grandfather who died in the September 11th attacks in New York. The meet was during Morristown's senior night against Parsippany Hills High School. According to Miller, the opposing coach waited until the 400-meter free relay race was over to have the emblem measured. It quotes him here. It says, he usually wears the team cap or another colored one inside out, no logo/flag. The one time he wears this in a meet and the coach DQ'd him, unreal luck, Miller wrote in a separate tweet. So it sounds like poor sportsmanship from the opposing coach.
Yeah, because he could have just let it go. But because Morristown won, he had to go and get this kid disqualified.
Yeah, and the Morristown swimming team's Instagram account said, everyone knows Motown boys were the real winners.
That's crazy.
So this is one of those stories.
Why? I don't know anything about the swim world. So
Yeah.
what's the deal with wearing having emblems that are too big? Who's it bothering?
I don't think it's an issue of bothering. It's probably just standard.
Class.
It's probably
Just class.
Like any sport, you have to wear your jersey, and I'd imagine it's just I don't know, swimming. Let's see, swimming.
But also, if this kid's done it, why did he have to wear a why did he wear it then? I know he wants to honor his grandfather, but if it's illegal, why did he wear it?
I'm looking. Here's a Daily Mail article.
It's not. No larger than 20 square centimeters are permitted.
In general, Jimmy?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Someone said, I think this is the dad. He said, yep, I'm guessing it can't be a political statement.
It can be, he said.
Daily Mail. So the rules for swimming competitions are extremely specific, including the size of flags that are allowed on team uniforms. The National Federation of State High School Associations Swimming and Diving Rules provides the dimensions. An American flag not to exceed 2 inches by 3 inches may be worn or occupy space on each item of the uniform apparel. So it is in the rules. I don't think it was as much an issue of...
It just seems like, you know what makes the story... It just stinks because the guy caught the kid after he lost to the kid. It's like he could have easily let it go, but he started crying after he lost. So that's the most heartbreaking part of the whole entire story.
Yeah, and this guy, the father, also tweeted, "Thanks very much for the support on my son's swimming DQ. Tough rule with a harsh penalty, but we'll learn from this. My son wishes no ill will on the opposing team and just wants everyone to go back to swimming. Hopefully the spirit of this rule can be changed in the future."
It's great.
Sounds like his son was like, "Dad, all my friends are reading about me in the news because you're complaining." And that's what dads do, though. That's the point of a dad.
Yeah, he's backing up his son.
That's what dads do. So to this kid, he's probably embarrassed. Your dad's the man. He had your back. And just get a different swim cap.
Yeah. You know,
Easy.
That's it. You learn from your mistakes.
And to the other coach, just learn to be a good loser. Because you're at the end of the day, none of these kids are probably going to be in the Olympics. Maybe they will be. But you know what they will be? They'll just be citizens one day. And they should probably have a coach that has actual, morals.
American spirit.
The American spirit. Make that flag twice as large next time, kid. All right.
Yeah, we need to make a new shirt with that. You know how we did our 4th of July shirt with the American flag? Like, I kind of want to make a shirt with the American flag patch on the arm. Mm-hmm. I think that'd be really cool.
I think that'd be awesome.
Represent it somewhere. It's a really cool look.
We should do a collab with like either a PD or something. Or like the Parks Department.
If we had a plug, I would love to do that. The state parks always comment on our Instagram too.
They do.
They don't DM me back either though. I don't know why.
Yeah, they're standoffish.
Weird.
All right, let's move on to the next story here. In Atlantic City, New Jersey, this is an interesting story. You guys know AC? You ever heard of it?
I know AC. We've been doing a lot of AC stories
too much
recently.
AC. Who put this story in?
In Atlantic City, New Jersey, a firefighter fell through the boardwalk during a fire. Police now believe the fire was caused by someone living under said boardwalk.
Yeah, it's getting cold. You gotta warm up with a little fire. Let's make a fire with some planks of wood right above our heads. So smart.
This was on that super cold night. Did you guys see pictures of the fire? It actually looked crazy. Like a whole section of boardwalk was all on fire.
You guys ever heard this song?
Under the boardwalk.
Yes, I know the song.
Under the boardwalk. We'll be having some fun.
Wow.
Not to make light of the situation, but that's what this story reminded me
no
of.
one died. No one was hurt.
Well, hold on. Nobody died, but we did have one of our
we did have an
brave
injury, yeah.
Atlantic City firefighters fall through and he broke his tibia.
Ooh.
Thank God he is alive. But it sounds like there are people living under our boardwalks and they are lighting campfires under wood, which is just not...
Well, like you said, it was like the 5-degree night or something like that.
Yeah, super cold. I mean, it sucks. I mean, that people have to live their lives like that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Why didn't you just move a few yards away and make the fire?
Because they're probably using it to block the wind.
It's shelter.
You're right. It's shelter.
But do we have shelters, actual state-funded shelters in Atlantic City?
I would assume so.
That's a whole conversation, Josh.
But some
opening up a bag of worms with
some
that.
homeless don't like going to the shelters for different reasons.
Yeah, it's a fair point. And I'm not going to lie, living under a boardwalk, okay, this is going to sound insensitive. It sounds kind of fun. Like, it's like a fort.
No, it doesn't. It sounds awful.
Dude, it's like
maybe
a fort.
as a kid in the summer for like a night, but
guys, it's
past
that. It's like how Bruce Willis has a bat cave.
No,
you're like hanging out with your friends, you're like, see you later. You just go under the boardwalk.
You ever walk past the boardwalk when the lights are off? It's dark out and it's scary, dude.
It's cozy.
It's different. It's different at night, bro. Tell us about the story.
So an Atlantic City firefighter was injured during the last Friday February 3, 2023 fire on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, New Jersey. The fire occurred in the 6 p.m. hour on the boardwalk directly adjacent to the Ocean Casino Resort on the 500 block in Atlantic City. We have learned that the firefighter fell through the boardwalk, and we can now confirm that he suffered a broken tibia. How high do you think that drop is?
Like maybe 6 feet. It can't be that high, but like probably just there's flames everywhere, bro. There's broken pieces all over the place. Like anything could have happened.
So the tibia is the shin bone, and it's the second largest bone in the body. So I'm guessing behind the femur, right? The femur's the largest. It's the weight-bearing bone of the leg. Firefighters, in addition to their own body weight, carry an average of 45 pounds of gear. This includes boots, pants, a coat, gloves, a hat, an oxygen tank, and more. Firefighters had to crawl in full gear to navigate with charged hose lines under the boardwalk. Individuals are known to camp under the boardwalk and live in voids. This time of year, it is common for them to create fires in order to stay warm. So, sounds like that was the whole situation pretty much laid out.
You think the person who lit the fire just saw everything catching on fire and dipped immediately? Because it doesn't sound like they caught somebody.
Maybe they fell asleep and it was 6 p.m. though. Maybe it lit on fire, like you said, and they just ran away.
Yeah, they didn't want to get caught. You know, they're homeless. No one's gonna find them.
Yeah,
it's really sad.
No, it is sad. It definitely is sad all around. Hopefully, this guy recovers quickly and gets back on the job and enjoys some nice time away from the fires.
You know, I was just thinking about it. Like, I never heard about a story like that. I didn't realize. I learned from this story that there's like a lot of homeless people. I also don't know AC well, but like I guess like I learned from this story that there are homeless people living under the boardwalk, making fires and all that. I never knew that.
Yeah, Atlantic City is. Yeah, they have a decent homeless population, I believe.
It's a good villain origin story.
How so?
Like a guy that lives under the boardwalk. He's like the boardwalk. He's like dressed like someone that would work at one of the carnival games, and he lives under the boardwalk.
Oh,
wow!
That could be a good one. That could be a good movie right there.
Yeah, it's like a Batman villain.
Is he? So he's a villain. He's a bad guy.
He's from Atlantic City. Yeah,
he like eats trash.
Yeah, his name is. I'll have to think about that one, but yeah, if DC would like to hit me up for that, I'll sell you the rights.
You have to call it the AC something.
The AC.
Not the bandit.
Walker. The boardwalker.
The boardwalker.
Oh.
The AC boardwalker.
Yeah, that's the guy.
It's pretty good, Josh. Not bad.
Thanks. All right, let's move on here. We got
God bless him.
The news does not slow down, guys. We got to stay on this train. And thank goodness it's not an NJ Transit train or an NJ Transit bus, which is one of our later stories, not this one. That would have been a great transition.
I thought you were going to do it. I thought you were going to do it, bro. We can't end with this story.
No, this story's too dark. That's why I moved it here. So I had to move this one down. I'm trying to be cognizant of not ending on really, really dark, sad stories.
Yeah, like last week.
So I don't know that this one's, I guess it is sad. In Fort Lee, New Jersey, a man was fatally shot after barricading himself in a home with a teenager.
Oh,
yeah, another story of an adult with a teenager. It's awful.
This state has a pedophile issue. I don't know if this is really a pedophile thing as much as
it could be a family thing,
hostage
right?
thing.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It says a man who allegedly barricaded himself in a home with a teenager was fatally shot by police Saturday. The state attorney general's office says Fort Lee police officers were sent to a home on John Street just before 8:15 a.m. in response to a 911 call. Neighbors say a man barricaded himself in a Cedar Court condominium with a teenager who couldn't get out. They say officers tried talking to him for hours, and when officers tried getting the teen out from the third floor, the man became aggressive, throwing items out of the home. The man was allegedly armed with a knife. Eventually, the SWAT came and they brought the crane. Very good thinking to grab the girl out, but when they went to go with the crane, the guy came out on his deck with a knife and threatened the police. Sounds like ChatGPT wrote this article. They shot him right up there. They had no choice. Oh, okay. This was a quote. It wasn't written like that. It was a quote from the building superintendent.
Could have used ChatGPT.
Yeah, I want to read that last. They shot him right up there. They had no choice. Building superintendent Daniel Soluski said. The AG's office says the man was pronounced dead at 10:39 a.m. Mayor Mark Solik says the man was visiting from out of state. The mayor also says one officer suffered non-life-threatening injuries and is currently being treated. A few other officers were admitted to area hospitals, which is standard procedure when an incident like this occurs. Right now, there is no threat to the public.
So I want to know why this guy was barricading himself with a teenager in the house. Were they related?
A teenage girl,
Yeah,
nonetheless.
exactly. Was that daughter? Like, was it a granddaughter? Was it a niece? Like, was there a relation there, or was this like a child predator situation? Were you guys able to find anything else on it? Because I did not.
I didn't find a whole lot on it. And more information will come out on this for sure.
Just wild to hear about. Like, I don't care where you stand on the situation. If you're holding a kid hostage and you come out with a knife, you should be shot.
Yeah. I mean,
like, just drop the knife and walk out and surrender. Why do you got to be the tough guy and be like, I'm not giving up? It's stupid.
Doesn't make much sense at all.
Jimmy, do you see anything on it?
I'm looking at 10-10 wins right now. I'm not seeing anything as to what caused the situation.
Yeah, we'll find out. I think more will come out about it, but thank God the girl is safe. That's the biggest thing here.
Absolutely. And the article I was trying to transition into before, well, I guess we'll have to pick up on that article and more comes out in the future. But our last story of the evening is, did you see any of these videos about this, Chomik?
Well, this happened. When did this happen? Like 2 years ago, or something, right?
Yeah, I remember seeing.
I remember seeing the article. Yeah.
6 adults and teenagers were charged this week in connection with a fire that destroyed 7 NJ Transit buses.
Their plan to take over New Jersey Transit was unsuccessful.
Yeah, they lit 7 on fire, and there's actually some footage of this situation if you want to.
Well, this happened when early 2022, correct?
It was spring 2022, but they've been officially charged. NJ Transit Police arrested 6 people in connection with a spectacular bus fire that was seen by rush hour commuters in April 2022 that completely destroyed 5 buses and badly damaged 2 others in North Bergen. NJ Transit Police Friday announced that the arrests, which happened late last year, of 2 adults and 4 juveniles. Roberto Garcia, 20, of Brooklyn, was charged with aggravated arson, burglary, trespass, and using a minor in commission of a crime, said Jim Smith, an NJ Transit spokesperson. A 16-year-old juvenile from New York City who wasn't identified because of his age was also charged. And there's Anthony Chen, 23, and a 15-year-old, both from Brooklyn. And then there's 2 other 16-year-olds from Brooklyn. So I don't know what these kids from Brooklyn were doing in Jersey. Like, what are they doing all the way over, and why are they lighting buses on fire?
They came to make a little fire.
Yeah.
Away from home, then try to run back to Brooklyn and not get caught.
The buses were being decommissioned and readied for sale as surplus vehicles and still had value for the agency. A recent auction of 10 surplus cruiser buses last month, similar to the ones stored in the North Bergen lot, were sold for a total of $78,000. Hold on. 10 surplus cruiser buses went for $78,000?
Total or just individual? Yeah, it had to be total.
Had to be total, which means you could get an NJ Transit bus that's decommissioned for around $7,000.
That's amazing.
You know, you probably have to put another like 30,000 of work into it to make it run. Think about, you have to get a whole new engine. You have to do the whole interior.
Oh, that's worth it.
Dude, hold on.
What, you guys want a Garden State bus?
Yeah, kinda.
The Garden State
How
wheels.
cool would that be?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, actually.
That could be our
nice
studio.
green bus.
Okay, here we go. The NJ Treasury, I'm on their website. They auction off vehicles. And do you guys want to see if there's any up for auction right now?
Sure. Yes.
Let's see.
I know where that lot is, actually.
You do?
Yes.
What do you got to say about it?
You know, it's a distribution lot. It's got a lot of smashed up trooper cars.
Wasn't that near
in
the
it.
Lincoln Tunnel?
Yeah, it's up near.
No, I'm talking about the auction.
Oh,
lot.
the auction. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the lot. Those buses were on fire.
No. The auction lot.
Jimmy, do you know where the state would auction off vehicles?
Yes, I know exactly where it is.
What's it called?
It's right behind Trenton Psych.
No, I mean, like, what's the website called?
Oh.
It's behind Trenton Psych. Just giving you a location.
That's where the lot is. I don't know if they have stuff online. I think GovDeals, maybe?
I found it one time. I can't remember what it is.
Deals.
Here's a website, GovPlanet. They have.
You gotta go GovDeals.
Oh, they have Humvees for sale.
Wait, go to GovDeals, Josh. I might be able to find
Okay,
something.
let's see, GovDeals. Let's see what we can find.
Government surplus auction.
Yes. Hold on. in New Jersey. You guys ready for this? Whoa, they're auctioning off a house. I should buy this.
It's $400,000. Looks like crap.
That's $400,000 in New Jersey?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
I'd do it. That thing's kind of cute.
I'm seeing
Oh,
some SUV seats.
The historics.
All right, guys, we're getting off topic.
I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. Let's look for. Here's a front loader sanitation truck, $80,000 with 9 bids. This is cool.
What's
guys.
the mileage on it?
I think they do it by hours for those big things.
Oh, so what's
Peterbilt,
What's a
yeah.
lot of hours?
1 day, 18 hours remaining on the auction.
Why don't they go by miles, Jimmy?
Okay, hold on. Let's stay on track here. Let's find an NJ Transit bus. Here's a fire truck for sale. This is
should we get a fire truck?
a cement truck, a dump truck. I think this is so cool, guys. Here's a 2014 Dodge Charger. I don't know. Oh, school bus. Okay, we're getting closer.
How much does the school bus go for?
Well, it's being bid on right now. It's up to $2,700 with 25 bids. Look at that thing.
Wait, it said mileage on that?
Um,
I thought it said something earlier. Oh, there, miles, 107,000.
that's not bad at all.
Not terrible for a school
No,
bus.
bro, that looks
Diesel?
clean. Look how shiny that thing looks.
It's going to probably go for a lot more after the next day.
Wait, so how much is that one?
It's at $2,000, but it's probably going to get
Are
bid,
you
up,
kidding
bid
me?
way up.
That's
so
really cheap.
I don't think we're going to find anything on here, and I don't mean for our listeners to come along on this journey with us, but I think this is so cool. And, they're decommissioned NJ Transit buses, which is a good thing. But it blows my mind that $78,000 for 10 decommissioned buses. That just seems kind of low, doesn't it?
The fire was pretty epic.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they were trying to, accomplish there.
I don't think jail is totally needed on this situation.
Are they all going to jail? Because they're
Yeah,
just
that's a good
charged with
point.
that. Like, I don't think that's jail time, is it?
Yeah, they're probably not going to go to jail. That's a good point.
Go back to the article. Let me see it. What was the one guy charged with? The first guy?
He was charged with the most. Roberto Garcia.
Aggravated arson, burglary, trespass, and using a minor in commission of a crime. Yeah, what do you guys think that is?
Maybe some fines and some probation, community service hours.
He's only 20. He'll be back. He'll be back on making some fires in
Yeah.
the state.
Most definitely. Well, with that was our last story of the evening. Do you have any thoughts on that? Any closing thoughts?
If I owned 5 buses like that, I think it'd be pretty cool to light them on fire on my own property. If I owned land, Jimmy.
I wonder if you can do that.
Well,
Light a car on fire on your own property. I don't know.
Who's stopping you? What's the law?
The EPA?
Yeah.
I think the EPA
There's
would
got to
not
be
allow
some
that.
What if you own thousands of acres and nobody knew?
That's why you got fire towers. Triangulate these smokes.
Yeah, but then they wouldn't see that you're making a fire on your own property. You said you're just burning some lumber. And that's it.
You need a permit.
Oh, you need a permit for everything in this state.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. That's why I want to own 20,000 acres.
I think
out of
40,000
state.
is the perfect
It'd
amount.
be so cool. Just burn whatever you want. Buy an old bus. Let's light it on fire with the boys. Why not? It's a fun day. Nice little outing with the crew. It's you guys can come over to my house. Guys, what do you want to burn today? I got it ready for you.
Bus.
There is something enticing about fire. I will give you that.
Or being able to bury your own, I'm not going to say I'm going to bury garbage, but I always wanted to bury my old Jeep. Remember
Yeah.
this little burial? I would love to dig a hole with an excavator in my yard and just bury it.
I wouldn't mind burying a school bus as kind of a bunker.
Well,
I know
yes.
people who've done that.
Well, they did that in Prison Break. One of the guys' meth labs was not Prison Break, Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You open this hatch and you go down, and then 20 feet underground, you're in a school bus, and it's a lab. That is cool. If I had a land, I would so make a little getaway with my friends.
I would do it too, I think. But I think we don't have the property. But maybe one day one of us will get that property to do it.
One of us needs to.
I'm eyeing a piece of property down in South Jersey, 1,000-acre farm that one of my friends owns.
You're kidding me. It's for
Yeah.
sale?
No, it's not for sale, but one day it will be.
Really? How do you know that?
Because eventually one day it will be.
Oh, no. Are you saying this friend
It's
is...
a beautiful piece of property.
If you got it, can I buy a bus and bring it over and we just, dig a little hole?
Sure. I think the water table is super low in the Pine Barrens, so you're going to hit water really quick. Super high.
Let's build a tree house.
You guys think that our listeners get to this point in the podcast and they're like, these guys might genuinely have something wrong with their brains.
Yes.
No, I don't think so. We get so many comments, people saying they love listening to the podcast. So I don't know. So
Because they don't hear thoughts like this anywhere else.
that's the thing. We're open.
Yeah.
We're open on this podcast. We are ourselves, and we don't hold back. And I think people appreciate that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. So
It's not bad.
with that,
It's not a bad life.
that's a great closer to this podcast. Thank you all so much for listening this week.
Dang.
There's a cop car coming by. Can you guys hear
Fire
that?
No, it's a
truck.
fire engine, my guy.
It's a fire truck.
Something's going on in town. Wow, everyone can hear that. See, filming in my house, you hear these
You
kind
guys
of
are such
things.
nerds.
Sobo, you
Different-
gotta
di-
learn the different siren sounds.
Josh, you have to know that's a fire engine.
I think I did.
It's a truck.
It's more of a like wah versus a whew.
Yeah, just like he said.
Good point. Good point. All right. With that, thank you all for listening. We will see you next Friday. Make sure to go get some merch.
New hoodie. Get the new hoodie right
Have
now.
A great weekend. Bye.
See you guys later.
Later.
Hey, listen to Cutting Steak. That's our dangerous.